It was a frosty morning and the alarm was set for about 6 o'clock, but it didn't seem too bad as the night before the clocks had actually gone back, giving us an extra hour in bed. Feeling nice and awake for such an early hour, I set about defrosting the car and I was soon on the road heading to the mountains. The roads were actually nice and quiet, and I was headed north up the A9 towards Dalwhinnie, where I took a westward turn and made my way towards Speenbridge and came off the main road and headed towards Grey Corrie. Ooh, it's chilly. And if you can tell from my gear, which I've got in here, you can see I've got my salopettes, winter salopettes, and ice axe. And the reason for that, it's end of October and winter has arrived. If I spin round, you'll be able to see the snow-capped mountains, and we're going to head up onto the mountains that are called the Grey Corries. So I'm really looking forward to this. Anyway, enough talking, I need to get the gear on and get cracked on, so yeah, I'll report back in a wee while. It was great getting the winter gear back out of the car, and I soon had my salopettes on and was lacing up my boots, raring to get on the hill and into that snow. We're at the upper car park. It's really busy this morning. We struggled getting parking, but understandably so. The forecast is fantastic and it's the first blast of winter we've had. You can probably see the peaks behind me. Nice and white, that's the annex. And we're heading up the Grey Corries. I'm really hoping that it's going to stay like this. Forecast is for the winds to drop. There's nothing here at the moment, but it's getting even better on the top. So going to have an absolutely fantastic day. Head up there, have a good trudge around the snow. It's not even November yet. Hopefully the ice axe and crampons aren't required, but we've got them just in case. Let's go and have some fun. We've literally just started the walk and we're a few days until Halloween. And appropriately in this walk, we've got someone already which has given us the heebie-jeebies. Check this out. Wouldn't like to see this in the mist or the dark. You ready for this? Don't get too scared. Look at that! That's enough to get. I'm going to sleep tonight. Although he looks a bit spooky, the wee minister is actually a good luck charm, and there's a little donation box here for the Lochaber Mountain Rescue Team. We're going up the first hill here, Stobcoir Gaber, and just the location of the Grey Corries is fabulous. To the south you've got some great mountains of the Moors, Glencoe, and then the whole of the southern and western highlands, big peaks. But to the north of the Grey Corries behind me here, it kind of flattens out. Well, it doesn't flatten out, but the peaks are a little less big or high, shall I say. And you've got the Great Glen just going straight up here, splitting the country in two. And beyond that, the next big mountains, you've got the Lochie Munros, and then beyond that, it's places like Knoydart and Glen Shiel and these sort of places. But anyway, back to today. We're in the snow line here, and you can see we're in the sun now. The sun's come out over my shoulder. And it's lovely. I think it's going to be one of those days. So let's get cracked on up onto the ridge. We're well into the snow line now, doing really well, and the first views of the Grey Corries are opening up just over that way. I don't know if you can make them out. Absolutely glorious. There's a wee bit of cloud shifting about the summits. I think we'll be up on the top of the ridge within the next hour, hopefully. How you feeling, guys?
Yeah, we're good.
We're doing well. Just one of those days. There's not much wind. The sun is out. The skies are blue, and the mountains are white, and the sunglasses are on. Says it all, really. Anyway, let's get going up to the top. Sorry. Here we go, we're getting a view of the Corries now. Look at that. Stunning. Woo! Absolutely beautiful.
Is this it
ridge, yeah. The guys just come up behind me, and that's us getting the first view of the Grey Corries over there. It's looking good. And there's no wind yet, still the shades are still on, I'll take them off. And here we are just on the top of the first hill. Stob Coir Gabbar. Absolutely glorious. Woohoo! Well, we're on the summit, Stob Coir Gabbar, which is the small peak of the Grey Corries, and have a spin round. You can see where we're going up onto the Grey Corries. It's maybe a bit bright, and the guys are just there getting something to eat before we head up onto the bigger peaks behind. But it's beautiful. There's a wee breeze here now. It's absolutely lovely. And you can see the corbets down there. In fact, those corbets I did a wild camp on. That's the last time I was in the area. And I camped on the second corbet there, and the views over here. I remember looking over at these mountains, and they look so big and imposing. And they are big hills. I think the highest one's the 15th tallest hill in the UK and in Scotland. So they're not to be taken lightly, especially on a day like today. But what a view. I'm going to crack on now and see if we can get up there onto the ridge. We headed off Stob Coir Gabbar with a spring in our step. We could now see the ridge before us, and it was looking absolutely brilliant. The next peak, there was a bit of a pull up to Stob Coir Clwry, was the highest point on the ridge. But with the skies blue and the mountains white, it was just a pure joy to be walking in this, and the ascent didn't take much time at all. So here we are, we're heading up the highest peak, and it's a real ridge here, and we've actually put the crampons on. We've got the ice axes out just to be on the safe side. There's a bit of a run out there, and you can see behind me the layers of mountains. You got Beg, Morning over to the Carnboard, Gerrard and Ben Nevis areas. Absolutely beautiful. The blue skies are out, and it's absolutely great. We're having a great time, and yeah, some good mountaineering today. For it being the end of October, we're extremely lucky. So anyway, I need to watch where I'm putting my feet here, and we'll crack on and see how we go. Get along this ridge, but it's good. Can't really complain. We were now approaching the final slopes of Stob Coir Clwry, and there was a fair bit of runoff to the left, so it does need some care and attention, especially under a coating of snow, but we were closing in on the summit. I'm on the summit, well the summit's just there, of Stob Coir Clwry, which is the highest point in the Grey Corries, and it's the 15th highest mountain. I think I've maybe already said that. And it's just getting better and better. The wind's dropping now. It's actually too warm. I'm going to have to take my parachute top off and my duvet jacket off and put back on my nice neon one. But it's lovely, slightly different to the last time I was here. I did this a different way. We're kind of doing the horseshoe today. I don't think we're going to do the outlier. But when I did this the last time, we left a car down at Corrie Collie, whatever you call it, and another one down in Glen Nevis, and we came right up, went over Stob Ban, and then came up here and along the ridge, and then dropped down into Glen Nevis and made it a linear route. And that was good fun, but you need long days for that. That was quite a long day. But this is just great. It's very alpine feeling. I don't know if you can get a feeling for it on the camera, but the ridges there are just going on and on and on until the Ben, which is the crowning glory, just standing proud of everything there in the distance. So you can see the ridge snaking down. It's sort of an S shape down behind me here. We're going to be heading down there and then eventually down this middle ridge there later on in the day. But this is just spectacular. Couldn't ask for a better start to the winter. Anyway, I better shut up and get cracked on because the guys are fairly making progress down there, so I need to get my running boots on and catch them up. Let's go! With this being the highest point of the Grey Corries, you could see westward every single individual peak we were going to go over. There was a further 4 on the ridge that we were going to do today on the horseshoe, and to be honest with you, we were just taking our time and enjoying it. Why wouldn't you in this sort of weather? It was absolutely glorious. There was a slight breeze when we made the top of the first summit of the Grey Corries, but as we continued along the ridge, the wind just died down and it got really warm. So we had to stop and de-layer, and I took off my duvet jacket and my parachute top and packed them back in the bags, and soon found myself striding along the ridge with just my base layers on. It felt truly alpine today. We're about halfway along the ridge now. It's still lovely. We've just been taking our time. It's been so nice. There's been no point in rushing. I don't think we're going to go all the way out to the outlier. We're going to go round to the third Monroe and then head back down past Stopcar, down the ridge and back along. But look at that down there. I don't know if you see the river shimmering in the sunshine and the snow slopes, and it's been absolutely brilliant. And the views seem to be getting better and better. Certainly inland it was a bit cloudier today, and that seems to be burning back now. So I better get cracked on. You can see the other guys just halfway along the ridge there, heading up to this wee top here. So I've had a bite to eat. Let's go! I had a little bit of catching up to do, so I headed along the ridge and yeah, caught up with the guys on one of the peaks, and eventually we were headed up the final Monroe, which was Stob, Corrie and Louis together, with the weather continuing to amaze us. The views were just spectacular in all directions. So we got to the top of this Monroe and we stopped for a while to take some pictures and really just enjoy it and soak in the magnificent views. Stopcar and Louis now, which is the second last stop of the day. We're not going to head out to the third Monroe. It's just maybe touch and go whether we'll be coming back in the dark, so we'll leave that for another day. I've been up and over it before. It's fantastic. It's probably the most shapely one of the ridge, but yeah, an excuse to come back another day. So we're going to head back down. In fact, the guys have already headed on. I've been playing about with my cameras and what have you. Head down over Stopcar and Essien here and down this ridge into the forest and back to the car. But if I look behind me here, you can see the ridge which we've come along and up to the big 15th highest summit. Absolutely brilliant. And you might not make it out, but just what I was talking about earlier on about them being to the south of the Grey Corries, there's a deluge, it's almost like a heaven for big mountains and hill walkers down here. You've got the Moors over Glen Nevis, and then beyond that you're going into Glen Etive and Glen Coe and famous hills like that. And over to my west you've got Annichbeg, Annichmore and the Ben. And from here you get a better idea of the kind of, it flattens out for the Great Glen before starting to rise up into the hillsides of Knoydart and Glen Shiel in the Northwest Highlands. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, time to get cracked on over the last peak and then back to the car before it gets dark. We'll see if we need to get the head torches on or not, but what a day so far. So after taking a few photographs and soaking in the views, it was time to head on to the last peak of the day, which was Stop Coiresian. That's the last peak of the day. I think it's Stop Coiresian. SN here. We're not continuing, as I said over there, we wouldn't have enough daylight and we're just enjoying it. A day like today you can't do anything but it's absolutely fabulous. So we're going to head back down the ridge here and into the forest and get back to the cars. Don't really want to leave the top here. I don't know if you can see over there the Ben over the annex sticking up and then down to the moors sweeping down and then the rest of the ridge, the Grey Corries who came along. Lovely, absolutely lovely. Right, time for a bite to eat. So after a final bit to eat and a wee bit more energy, it was time to head downwards. It was kind of a pull having to leave the summits in these sort of conditions, but we knew we still had a fair bit of walking to do before we got back to the car, so we set off descending down the mountain. I can burn some of these photos for 4K video. We're on our descent now and we're just heading down, but you can see the horseshoe and where we came up all the way around and over the ridge, and it looked great, and it was great. It's been absolutely lovely. And the sun's out now, we've got about an hour and a half till it goes down. You can see over there, over the annex, it's starting to lower. I think in a little while we'll be down past the snow line and then into the trees. I'm going to head along the tram line, should I say, back to the car. But what a day. It's not even Halloween yet, we're still the 20-something of October, and if there's many more days like this in the winter, we're in for a treat. Anyway, enough talking, let's get walking, let's get safely back to the car. The weather remained absolutely perfect for our descent, but we still had a good few hours to trek before we got back to the car. And what a day we had. This will live long in the memory for sure, and if the weather stays like this for the coming winter, I think we'll all be happy.